Okay. Good morning again. Those of you just joined, we're looking at um, renewable and non-renewable energy, and I'm going to put some links in the chat in just a few. But you can open your canvas to how we use energy. Good morning. And again, I appreciate y'all being on time. This is a big class. We've got a lot of folks still not here, coming in slowly. So thank you, thank you. All right, so yesterday you did the energy renewable debate, and today we're just going to look at some vocabulary. So with these two, I want you to do the same thing you did before. I want you to um, do the flip card activity, and when you're finished, take a screenshot of both of them and send that to me. So I'll have a place for you to upload that in a sec. But first, let me give you the links for these. So this is the first one. Okay, that's the first one. And send the second one in a minute. Yes, this is a new Nearpod. I hope I'm not sending you both the same one. All right, and there's the second one. All right, so again, these are the flip card activities. So go through and work on those and take a screenshot of your completed activity. And then I will, uh-huh, okay. All right, so there are two of them. Yes, it's for a grade. So I'm going to have a folder for you to upload it in just a sec. Okay, Imani, you knocked that right out. I was I'm gonna put a folder for you to put it up in a second. And I think I might have sent you the same one twice. Okay, hold on. Yes, you'll have to take a screenshot when you're done. All right, give me 1 second. Like I said, I think I sent you the same one twice. I can get that. Monty, were they different? Okay, so then we're good. Okay, so then I'll leave that alone. All right, so give me just 1 second and I'll have that folder for you to upload it. And this is a today assignment, so this is going to be issued today for you to do today. So everybody should be doing this now. All right, don't send it to me, folks, in the chat. I'm gonna just give me 1 second and I'll have that. Hang on. Y'all are fast. Y'all must have really been on top of your assignment from yesterday. That's great. That's great. I want to make sure I put these links in the assignment as well. Oops. All right, so if you refresh your page, okay. Let me share this with you so everybody sees what I'm talking about. Okay. homepage, and then I'm looking at the student view, so I know it's there. So if you don't see it, you need to refresh your page. Okay. All right. So if you go to your homepage, it should be the one that says renewable and non-renewable energy. And if you just came in, you want to know what it is we're doing. I'll get a report. If you completed yesterday's Nearpod activity, I can check the report so I'll know if you've done it and completed it or not. Okay. All right. So this is what you should see. So those are the two Nearpod links, and then you should be able to submit your assignment here. Okay. All right. So it'll be in the grade book. What do you mean there's no Dropbox?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Did you refresh your page?
Yeah,
Because I'm looking at, like I said, I'm looking at my student view, so I know it's there.
I can't find it. Can you tell me what? Is it at the top or the bottom?
It's not in the module, it's on your homepage under to do, things to do. So look at your homepage and it should be the last thing on your to-do list. Okay, you click on, you see it now?
Hold on. Yeah, I found it, but there's no Dropbox.
There's no Dropbox. Okay, so let me figure out why there's no Dropbox. Okay. Oh, I know why. Okay, I know why. Give me a second to come out of student view. It's going to be one of those days, folks. There are so many buttons you got to push when you're doing stuff. Alrighty. I know exactly. Sound like Ken. Um, that's because I have it under no submission. There we go. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Refresh your page again. There should be a Dropbox there now. Okay. And again, you don't have to send me a screenshot in the chat. What you need to send it is now that you look at it, it should have a way for you. So let me go back to view as a student and start assignment. And now there's a Dropbox. All right, so send both of them at the same time. Okay. All right, so I fixed it. I fixed it. So now it should look like this. Okay. All right, so I give another 5 minutes. Seems like almost everybody's finished with the activity. Okay, so the two links are there. Those are the two links you should be looking at. Do those, send a screenshot, and then go back and make sure that after you've done the screenshot, make sure that like a couple of you have done it a couple of times before you got it right. So make sure that you are familiar with those vocabulary words. And then go back to Canvas and we will look at, so when you finish with that, go back to the module. Yeah. And we are going to make sure that we tidy up both of those. All right, so we're going to go through those. We're going to make sure that if you have not done this activity, please do so right here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing so I can do the attendance. But once you finish the Nearpod activity and you've uploaded it, again, this is a today thing. This is not I'll do it when I get around to it. So, and remember, I told you, missing assignments are going to come up once there's a due date on it, and the due date for this is today. Gradebook will automatically put a 0 in. So make sure that this is what you are doing right now. You're uploading it right now. And then you're going to come back to Canvas and you want to look at the how we use energy lesson. Make sure that hopefully by now you've gone through that already. And you're doing this multiple choice quiz. So that's where we are right now. So I'm going to stop sharing, do attendance. Okay, you just came in, you luck out because I haven't done attendance yet. So, because some of y'all were real late. Whew, I'm cold. Trying not to turn the heat on yet. It's too early to turn the heat on, but it's chilly. Might even get up and get a jacket. I thought admitted. Ethan. Hmm. Okay, so everybody should be working on either the Nearpod or I should see you in Canvas. I shouldn't be looking at me. Everybody should be completing the Nearpod, uploading the Nearpod, or looking at the Canvas activity. And again, you don't need to send it to me in the chat. You need to upload them. So if you don't see your Dropbox, that means you need to refresh your page so that you can upload the screenshots to the gradebook. Okay. All right. That being said, one of these folks. Oh. All right, again, this is a today activity. This is not oh, I put it in there. Didn't get a chance to. Anyway. Okay, that's done. All right, so I'm gonna give a few more minutes for you to complete your upload, and then we will talk about energy. Okay. There was an assignment, Jayla, if you go to your homepage, on the to-do list, they're looking at the Nearpod activities for renewable and non-renewable energy. Aiden, what don't you see in Canvas? You don't see where to put it? All right, I will share one more time. Okay. So we go to the home page. What is dinging on my computer? Okay, what happened there? I don't know what that was. Let's try it again. Homepage. View as student. Okay, so this is what you're looking for. Right here, I'm gonna take these out because we should not be looking at those anymore. All right, so as a student, the only thing that you really should be looking at right now is renewable energy. And when you hit start assignment, you're gonna do those two Nearpod activities, and then you're gonna take a screenshot of your final page that says that you finished, well done. And then you're going to upload both in one folder right here. You're going to upload, and you're going to look for both pictures, both screenshot, and put them both on here before you submit. Okay. All right. When you complete that, we are going to come back to your module. I'm going to just go ahead and play this while you all are uploading. Okay, 1 second. Hold on. Before I do that, 1 second. I didn't know. I don't think I click on the thing for. So let me make sure I've done that. And I did not. Okay. Okay, I know it's still early in the morning and this is more like your lunch, but if we consumed all the energy we need in a day, a large meal, it might be a large cheeseburger, fries, soft drink, and this is a reading, there's no sound to this, you gotta read. All right, so they're breaking down for you what that meal would look like. right, so calories is a measurement of the energy in the food. So that is a unit of measurement, okay, for energy. So keep that in mind. So the fries are 957 calories because they're fried. That's all that oil and grease and starch from the potato. The burger with buns and fixings that you had, lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, 750 calories. And the soft drink, which is full of sugar, has 300 calories. All right, so just that one meal was about 2,000 calories, but that's not all of the energy that we use. Okay, so that's what you got from the meal. All right, so earlier in the year, we did an activity called our ecological footprint. So you looked at things on how else you use energy. So when we talk about energy, we talk about the food that we eat, but we also talk about what you use in other ways. So we've got the computer, we've got electrical energy, we've got fuel energy, all kinds of other energies, geothermal energy. So we're going to be looking at all the different kinds of energy, in addition to what fuels us, what fuels everything else we do. Okay. All right, so I think we went through these, but I'm going through, it's been a minute, so we'll go through them again. All right. If you remember from your biology lessons, when you eat the food, the only reason we eat the food is because our body requires energy. And we get our energy from the bonds that are stored in between the chemicals. So the food that you eat is chemically bound together. And when we try to break those bonds, they release energy, and that in the form of ATP. And all these little ATP molecules are used to do all of your metabolic activities to keep you going. All right, solar energy. Again in biology, and I think while we were talking about ecosystems, we talked about photosynthesis being a very big part of that. So solar energy not only gives energy to the plants, but lately we have been creating solar panels that are able to store the energy that can be converted into electrical energy so that we can have energy for our homes, our cars, and street lights, etc. Because a lot of times now, when you're driving down the street, you might see these little posts and little mini solar panels that they're actually trying to run the street lights by solar energy. So there's a big move towards solar energy. All right. So other kinds of energy are thermal energy, which we could use today to get some heat going on. Mechanical energy, the energy that comes from machines, and electrical energy, which a lot of these other energies are always converted to electrical energy. All right. The activity you just did looked at renewable and non-renewable sources. And so you need to know down here that renewable means it's inexhaustible, which means it comes back over and over again. We don't use it all up. And so we're not worried about it disappearing. And those are solar energy. The sun is not going down. We're not going to run out of wind. We got plenty of water. This is a water planet. And we get the earth generates its own amount of heat. So these types of energy can be harnessed, and they are they are renewable. They are inexhaustible. All right. On the other hand, we have exhaustible, meaning that they do run out. And it's not that we're not making them still, it's just that we are using them faster than they can be created. These fossil fuels and nuclear energy and oil are types of things that are buried in the soil. Fossil fuels came from large amounts of fossils being deposited millions and millions of years ago, and we're using it up now. Now the population has grown, we're using it up so fast. Things still die and things still create fossils, but they're not doing that in the abundance that we need in order to use it as an energy source forever. Okay. Nuclear energy, the nuclear molecules are buried in the soil. So once we dig them up, they don't grow back. So that's inexhaustible. And the same thing with the oil. The oil tends to come from fossil fuels as well. So once we use it up, it's gone. Okay, so we need to try to stop using these so much. And the push right now is to convert to the renewable forms of energy. Okay, that's
Energy comes in many different forms. It can be stored in the chemical bonds that hold molecules together, carried in the motion of a spinning wheel, or held in a boulder sitting on a cliff. But energy isn't a fixed thing. In fact, we convert it from one form to another all the time. People discovered energy conversion thousands of years ago. While they couldn't have possibly known what they were doing, when early humans burned wood to stay warm and keep predators away, they were actually converting the chemical energy stored in the wood into the heat and light of fire. And wood was just the beginning. Chemical energy is also stored in coal, oil, natural gas, and radioactive materials. And these fuels have been critical to the development of modern human societies. Fuels are used to generate three main forms of energy: thermal energy to heat our homes, mechanical energy to transport people and things, and electrical energy to power just about every other technology we use, from computers to vacuums to air conditioners. The basic process and technology for producing most of our electricity is the same, whether it's generated by a coal-burning power plant, a nuclear plant, or a renewable resource. In nearly all cases, one form of energy is converted into motion, or kinetic energy, by means of the spinning blades of a turbine. The turbine's rotation is then used to turn the working parts of an electrical generator. This motion causes electrons to be pushed through the wires inside the generator, converting kinetic energy into electrical energy, the electricity that is carried through power lines to our homes and schools. The only real difference between one type of power plant and another is the energy source or fuel that's used to turn the generator. Now, as some of the traditional energy sources are becoming harder to find and come with a high environmental cost, scientists and engineers are looking for more innovative ways to produce the electricity we rely on.
one of the things that I wanted you to get out of that is, let me see if I can get it to just
Fuels are
to be.
used to generate three main forms of energy:
Okay. What I need you to write down as a note is that all this what this statement says here in the caption, all cases form all case in all cases, you should start it with all in all cases, one form of energy is converted into motion or kinetic energy. Sorry. Okay, write this down in the caption. In all cases, one form of energy is converted into motion or kinetic energy. Thank you for helping with that. Okay, write that down. There you go. And thank you. All right, the next thing we need to know is by means of spinning blades of a turbine. The turbine's rotation is used, and then I'll move that along again in a second. But what they were showing you is if there's different kinds of power plants, coal power plants, oil power plants, nuclear power plants, that's what they mean by it doesn't matter what form of energy you start with. Once you take it to the power plant, that is the fuel source. What it's going to do is going to be heated or burned in some kind of way in order to turn a turbine. So after that point, all power plants are the same. They're all the fuels are used to make a turbine move. Then the next step on the line is for the turbine to turn a generator. Okay, so all fuel is used to spin the blades of a turbine, and the turbine is used trying to get this to go just where we want it to go. All right, so in the picture right now, they're showing you the turbine. So a lot of turbine, like I said, they heat up the substance, they create a steam, they use it to boil some water to create steam, and the steam turns the blades of the turbine. And then the turbine is then connected like that. All right. So you see that all those wheels, the turbine is connected, and you see this shaft that goes to the next thing. So they're used to turn a generator. I can't get it to advance to that. There we go. Is used to turn the working parts of an electrical generator. So write that down. All right, and then from there, you just need to know that that generator then is connected to a larger generator, and all the wires and from your house and all the little boxes along the way, this is how the electricity gets to your house. Okay, so some places are near water, so we have hydroelectric plants. So the places along the Chattahoochee, you might have a dam, and they create a hydroelectric, so that the fuel is hydroelectric. So they don't have to create steam and all that. The waterfall turns the blades of the turbine, and then creates the electricity that way. So that's the most inexpensive, because water doesn't cost much. You just have to get the water. In most of these cases, the most expensive part of this is to build the power plant. Once they build the power plant, hydroelectric is cheap. You just got to get the water to fall on the blades turn the generator, and then the generator creates the electricity. With coal and nuclear energy and oil plants, you've got to actually find those sources, bring them to the power plant, feed them in, burn them, create the steam that turns the generator, that turns the turbine, that turns the generator. So you got to have that in steps. So that's a question I'll ask you, is you have the fuel, which is burned to create the steam that turns the turbine, that turns the generator, that creates the electricity. You've got to know that series of steps. So this is how we get our energy. This is how we transform other forms of energy into electrical energy. So we had mechanical energy that is converted to electrical energy because this is a machine. All right, let's look at this next one. All right, so this was the quiz I asked you all to take, so hopefully you all did this. So it says there are 3 activities that consume fuel. So which of these 3 consume fuel? Which 3 did you pick before I check on this? You can type it in the chat. Which 3 would you pick? And it's consumed the most fuel in our modern society. But it wants 3. So the last one, heating, transportation. All right, so that's correct. So let's go to the next one. All right, because burning wood does not involve which of these activities? So think about if you were warming your wood in your fireplace. Which one is not involved? All right, electrical. All right, so I know you think nuclear isn't an answer, but we talked about the wood is made of atoms, okay? So the wood is, and so nuclear and chemical are kind of connected because nuclear energy comes from splitting of atoms. So that's going to give you your chemical energy and you're going to get heat energy out of it, but you're not going to get electrical energy from just burning wood. All right. Why do coal burning power plants, nuclear power plants, and renewable resource use a turbine to produce energy? Okay. A lot of people who picked the last one. Good, good, good. And just like I was just showing you when you just took your notes, you can take all those different types of fuel, bring them to the power plant, and just use them to turn and find a way to use them to turn the turbine, which will eventually turn the generator. All right, which one of these stores chemical energy? And then the important part is stores chemical energy. I got everybody saying that one. Technically, so yes, that is stored and you have to break the bonds of that. But when you can get some energy, little bit of energy from water. All right, somebody said they don't see what module I'm in. I am in. How we use energy. That's where we are. All right, so just in the recap, thermal energy is contained in the system responsible for temperature. Okay, so you can get thermal energy, geothermal energy from the earth. You can get some thermal energy from burning and heating up substances. So there's different ways to get thermal energy. Your body creates thermal energy from the foods that you eat. Mechanical energy is anything that is moving, and things that are not moving are called potential energy. It stores the energy until the energy is released. But those are both, but the objective is to create motion. So that is mechanical energy. And then everything again is converted to electrical energy. Is there anybody else who doesn't? Like I said, I'm looking at the student view. And you still don't see it? Okay, it wouldn't show for me. Okay, let me go back to mine. Okay, I'm gonna come out of student view. I'm gonna go to modules. Two. All right. Sometimes it's my fault, but it is, the whole module is published. Each of these is published. And if you're on your module page, and actually if I did the student view, and it might be that you need to refresh your page. All right, that's what you should see on your page. You should see these two. You see these three. Okay, you got it now. Okay, good. All right, everybody got it now. Everybody know where we are. Yeah, we started this earlier and then we went back because we had skipped the previous one. So yeah, we've done these before, or at least that one. I don't know about this one, but we've done that before. So now and then this is not graded. This is something that we've looked at before, talked about before. Now we're coming back to it. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're going over it again and we're going forward from here. Yes, indeed. So we kind of went back to because I had skipped a module, some lessons in the previous module, so we're coming back. All right, so everybody here now? Is everybody right now on non-renewable resources? That's where everybody should be. Okay. All right, so those were all our resources. Now we looked at and again, we've looked at this before as well, because these two units we did talk about already. So what they have looked at is the big pie is all the different types of energy that are, and then they've looked at the little piece that says renewable energy is 11% of all of that. And then you can break down that 11% into geothermal, solar, wind, biomass, biofuels, wood, and hydroelectric these are all forms of renewable. All right, somebody tell me what biomass is.
Biomass is living organisms.
Comes from living organisms. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. And y'all need to do that more often. Just unmute and because it takes a while to text. So unmute and talk to me. This is the first year I've had classes that are not actually talking to me. So this is unusual. So I don't mind that you unmute and talk. I encourage it because it takes a minute to read the text in the chat. All right. So biomass, you need to, and a lot of places are using biomass. Farms use biomass. All the leftover, when they clean up the farm, they put all that leftover wheat and corn cobs and all of that, and they use that. They have their own little energy plant where they burn it and have a generator, and they run the farm by biomass because they've got so much of it there to fuel what they're doing. So those are biofuels. So know what you need to make sure that you know what we mean by biomass. Fuels that come from leftover living things. Okay. Let's look down here. So we've talked, you need to remember petroleum, natural gas, coal, oil. These are all non-renewables because again, they come from fossil fuels. Okay, so we're going to do this little recap real quick. Like I said, I'm trying to go through this one real quick because we kind of did this before and we just want to get through it so we can move to the next one.
Fossil fuels are non-renewable energy resources. These are coal, oil, and natural gas. They were formed from the remains of living organisms millions of years ago, and they release heat energy when they're burned. This heat is used to turn water into steam, which is used to turn a turbine, which then drives a generator to generate electricity. This is the standard model for a power station. There are downsides, however. Fossil fuels release sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide, which leads to acid rain and an increase in global warming. Another form of non-renewable energy is nuclear. The main nuclear fuels are uranium and plutonium. The nuclei of these large atoms are split in a process called nuclear fission to release a great deal of heat. The heat energy is again used to boil water. The kinetic energy in the expanding steam spins turbines, which then drive generators to produce electricity.
Oops, okay, I wanted to stop that right there. All right, so you see what I mean? It doesn't matter what kind of fuel you take. So the first step is always whatever you got to do to the fuel to get it to boil the water, to create the steam, to turn the turbine, to run the generator, to create the electricity. That's how all of these power plants work. Okay. All right. Somebody unmuted. You're going to talk? Okay. All right.
Electricity. Unlike fossil fuels, nuclear fuels do not produce carbon or sulfur dioxide. However, they do have the risk of a fault where large amounts of radioactive material could be released into the environment, such as the disaster of Chernobyl in 1986.
Okay. All right. When I was in one of the activities I used to do when I had my brick and mortar, let me come back here. Okay. Chernobyl. This one you need to know what Chernobyl is. Anybody know about Chernobyl? Have you ever heard of Chernobyl before? I might give you a little case study. There was a movie that I used to show on days when we were down, and it was called Chernobyl. And it was about a nuclear power plant in Russia. So I'm going to give you some time to look that up. And I'm going to create a little folder for you to give me an answer to it. What is Chernobyl? And what did we learn from Chernobyl? Those two questions. I'm going to create an assignment folder for that. So we got only a couple of minutes left to class. So Google that. What is Chernobyl and what did we learn, or what should we have learned from it? Okay. I'm going to stop sharing so you look that up, and I will actually in the Ukraine. Oops. Okay. Trying to copy. Yes, I'm trying to copy this so that you all spell it right. Copy. Let's put this in for everybody. There we go. All right. There. All right, so that's how you spell it. And you're looking up the Chernobyl disaster. When was it? What was it about? What should we have learned from that? And that's important because we're in an age now where people are talking about nuclear weapons. What should we have learned from this? Yes. Okay, so don't put it in the chat. So that's a good start. Write it, make a little essay about it. I'm gonna put a little discussion folder link up for you all to write down what you learned. So I need everybody. So Imani has shared that it was a nuclear power plant accident in 1986. Don't anybody else put anything else in the chat, please. No more sharing in the chat. All right. I will squash that. All right. So I need to know what it was, what it is, what was it? Where did it happen? When did it happen? What should we have learned from this accident? That's the important part. What should we have learned from this accident? So that means you might have to read the whole article all the way to the end. The important statement I want you, why did it happen? Yeah, but I want you to write it, and then I'm going to, like I said, write while y'all are reading the article and creating your statement. I am going to create an assignment folder for that. Okay, so everybody should be reading, trying to tell me what is Chernobyl. And in 2 minutes, I'm going to have an assignment folder for you. And this time I'm going to remember to don't, well, you can't. Not yet. 1 second, almost. And I'm going to give it a due date for Monday. But in case you don't finish it before the end of class. Okay, so you will probably have to refresh your page in order to see this. All right, so the assignment is called Chernobyl Disaster. And again, you may have to refresh your page in order to see it. And if you're working on it right now, all you should have to do is copy and paste your answer into the assignment folder and send that to me. Okay. So let me go. Okay. So again, it should be, so if you might have to refresh your page because I just put it there. And if you go to your page, it should say Chernobyl disaster. And go ahead and share again to make sure we're all on the same page. All right, view page. All right, so I'm on the home page, and I click on Chernobyl disaster. All right, so if you've already written it, you need to before you submit your answer, make sure that you have answered where, when, why, because that's how it's being graded. Did you tell me where it is, when it happened, and why did this happen? And then you need to answer, what should we have learned? What should we learn from this? And there's a couple of things we need to learn from this. Okay. I should ask you to tell me 3 things. Let me adjust that assignment. Give me at least 3 things we should learn. There's a lot of things we need to learn from this, but tell me at least 3 things we should learn from this. So I might go back in and edit this so that it says at least 3 things. Okay. So before you send it to me, because I know some of you think you finished already. So before you send it to me, make sure that you've answered all these questions. Where did it happen? When did it happen? Why did it happen? And what are 3 things that we should learn from this disaster? Okay, so I'm going to leave the student view. I'm going to go back to my view and I'm going to edit this. What? Three. Now you can tell me more than 3 if you want to. All right, so I've edited that so that now you have to tell me at least 3 things. Okay? All right. For the assignment, refresh your page. You know, you hit the little button at the top. Because right now I am out of Canvas. I mean, on my student view. I don't know if I sent you my student view link, if that's going to help. But I'll try. All right, remember too that we're trying to make sure that all our assignments are on time. So again, I put the due date on this for Monday. So it's important that you have already submitted your Nearpod activity. That was due today. That was a today activity, not a tomorrow activity. Late assignments from here on out are just late assignments. All right, folks. Technically, classes ended. So you all have